Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube? This is SDL0320 representing JVS. So this is my review for Patriots Day. I'm going to say this off the bat. The movie is amazing. It's a 10 out of 10. I'll dissect it like I normally do, but to go ahead and skip through it, this is something that you really cannot miss. This movie will keep you riveted. It'll keep you at the edge of your seat, even if you understood or remember the events that happened in 2013 of April during the Boston Marathon bombing and aftermath. There'll be points where you are just literally on the edge of your seat. And then if you don't remember it, like, it's just so amazing how seamless the vision for this movie was that Peter Berg had, because in normal biopics that are, based on tragic events that happen, what I'm saying, they try to simulate them, and sometimes they'll use like regular footage, or sometimes they'll just make it a straight documentary. This is the perfect fusion of that. There were moments where I was literally feeling like I was living through this all over again, because they utilized footage that was from the marathon, from the different things that happened, and they interwove them into the amazing sets and amazing cinematics of recreating a lot of those specific events, including all the actors that were involved in looking like their specific characters. But let's go ahead and break this down. In terms of how they actually directed this, I think that Peter Berg did a great job. The thing about it, this is, I think, the third film now that him and Mark Wahlberg has done, because they did Lone Survivor together, and then they also did the other film. What was the name of it? That Mark Wahlberg was involved with. Forget the name of it. Hold on, let's see if I can find it real quick. I think it was. Man, I can't find it. But it just came up. I can't remember it, but it's fine. But the thing about this film is that this is very close to home. This is something that people can easily remember. Anybody that's from Boston, one of my friends who went to the film, they were also from Boston. They remember it vividly, every single minute event. And I think that the attention to detail with it, how precise, how the vision was, how the visuals for it were, and as well as the cinematics. Like, the cinematics were amazing in terms of how they shot it, with the events, with all the different focal points from all the different sources. Like, if it was a traffic cam, if it was somebody's phone, or if it was a comm that was going all the way down, just somebody doing a sit rep. You got it, and you felt it every single second. But then those emotional beats, like in terms of like Mark Wahlberg, he makes this really interesting conversation with one of the other cops, and the guy was asking him specifically about how can we fight something like this, such as this kind of terrorism. And Mark Wahlberg basically kind of alluded to something you couldn't, but there's a difference between good and evil, and this is what he saw. And the way that they shot that sequence was so amazing, because you get to see Mark Wahlberg emote, just like even after the marathon bombing, and he's there with his wife, and he's just bawling. He's dealing with dread. He's dealing with all the ramifications of things he saw, limbs on the ground. This movie is very violent. Like, in terms of how they shoot it, it's not like completely gory, but when somebody dies, or when somebody has something lobbed off, or a limb, or there's blood or whatever, it is very realistic. And it's very dark in a lot of moments, but then there are moments where, I'm saying, you are rooting for the police officers to get the job done. You're rooting for them to put a stop to what is going on. And for me, that immersion also helped out with the score. The score was really good. It was very well drawn together with each scene. It was like it was handpicked specifically. Even at the end of the movie, I really recommend you go all the way to the end of the movie, because they do something that I've never seen like movies normally do, where they allow the people that live through this to really interact with the audience. And I think that that was one of the most emotional moments for me, especially seeing everything that happened and kind of reliving all over through the embodiment of the film. And then, of course, the actors. I mean, you got J.K. Simmons, you got Mark Wahlberg, you got what is his name? Oh my gosh, I forgot the dude's name. John Goodman. Who else? Melissa Bonest, that plays Supergirl. She was in it. Um, all these actors, not just Mark Wahlberg, not just specific people, every single one of them commit to their roles. The smallest of the people that we don't know, there's this Asian character. He committed to that role when he was dealing with the scene that I cannot say. And it was like everybody, you were rooting for the good guys. And when the bad guys were up there, these two, extremists essentially, it was just like, what are you doing? It's like, it's not even like you're trying to root for them to do anything good. It was just like, wow, this is so terrible, kind of. And in terms of the story and the way that they did it, I mean, these are based on true events. This actually did happen. There were two bombs that went off at a April Boston marathon that people normally go to annually, and it was like, it was devastating. And then the aftermath after that was even more harsh because I didn't even think or remember about those things. And so it was like, when I was sitting and listening, I was like, man, I can't believe this is actually happening right now. And then on top of that, what they were trying to do, these extremists. But the movie was well thought out, it was well directed. They did an amazing job with this film. Deepwater Horizon, that was it. I think that was it. That was it. I think that I heard that was amazing, just as good, if not better, than Lone Survivor. I can't tell if this was better than, but for me to be able to feel like I'm reliving this all over again, it speaks volumes for everybody that committed to this role. And I mean, they take honor in the subject matter to get it as precise as they did, but then they also infuse hope versus dread. Like, it's hard to get through the film in terms of what happened, but what came out of it and the discussions and the things that people have said that made it out of this situation alive, and the survivors of this, it was like really inspiring in a lot of different ways. And so I highly recommend you go check out Patriots Day. It was an amazing film. Again, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. One of the best films of 2017 already. So a lot of films are going to have a lot to live up to with this one. Yeah, that's all I got, you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. Oh, and by the way, I apologize. Some of y'all thought that I was not gonna upload anything. I did kind of mention it that I was gonna be able to upload. I'm just not gonna look at any videos. So I'm not gonna look at any videos. I'm fasting for anybody else's videos on the social stream or YouTube, but I will be able to upload. So I won't upload for a while, but let me know. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. Love you guys.